Hello and welcome. This is an introduction to Module 4, Digital Circuits. Perhaps it should be called Advanced Digital Circuits because this is where the fancy stuff begins to happen. So, we first create a button-controlled buzzer. So we start messing around with Arduino tone functions, which essentially generate sounds of different frequencies. We do this both with a buzzer and a loudspeaker. The loudspeaker is actually really good. Then we take that into two applications. We create a piano out of it, as well as a sound effects generator, which gets really interesting when we actually create what a Fibonacci sequence would sound like if the frequencies were shifting in a sort of Fibonacci order. After that, we create a 8-segment display. The if robot calls it 8-segment. I've more used to it being called 7-segment. And we then use that circuit, which basically displays a number from 0 to 9, to create a game where you guess a number, and the serial monitor tells you if your guess is correct. This perhaps brings up some issues with the sequences not being truly random, which is an issue with Arduino, but we solve that in a little separate tutorial which uses a function that Arduino created specifically for this type of problem. So after that, we have a reaction time measuring circuit, which is actually a really simple circuit with nothing other than a light and a button input. But we get really fancy with that. So we look at different ways of displaying the results. We look at ways at storing results and in arrays. We calculate averages. And so I think this is the first time we really get into data and how Arduino can be used to either store it or manipulate it. So next one is a memory game circuit. I have fixed the typo, but it's still there. Memory game circuit has 4 lights that come on in kind of random sequences, and you win the memory game if you repeat the sequence. Of course, you can make the game as hard as possible and virtually impossible to win, but nonetheless, we create that premise, and it's quite interesting. Okay. That's all for the introductions. See you in there.